What was it like taking pictures of the late Queen?
Well, the Queen was fantastic. And obviously, as far as I'm concerned, she was top of the tree. She was the most perfect person to photograph.
There's loads and loads of wonderful pictures that you've taken of the Queen over the years. Did she ever, come and speak to you or anything like that?
No, yes, many years ago, but it was back in the 80s, the Queen was trying to teach Diana how to ride along with some grooms. They were at Sandringham, and the Queen had taken her out, and for some unknown reason, she decided to take her on the main road across towards Amner Hall, which is where William and Kate now live. It was originally owned, but rented by, I think, Van Cutsham's. But she was coming down that road, and they were riding along together. Quite, they saw us, and I expected them to sort of veer off. But obviously, Diana was very unstable on the horse. She was gripping for, God, please, let me get on with it and let me get off the horse. And the Queen and her come riding towards us, and as the Queen got close to us, I was looking for somewhere to actually move back to, so sort of get out of the Queen's way. But they kept on coming, and we did the pictures, and literally as they got level with us, she looked down at me and she said, "You are one horrible little man." And at that very moment, I felt, I wish there was a big hole I could disappear into, because just by her saying it and looking at you, there was something about her. She had an aura about her.
Well, she's one of the most photographed women in the world, wasn't she?
Yes.
When she was around. Did you ever have the chance, maybe after that, did she ever see you again, and did that incident ever come up?
At that particular time, I was still doing actual what we call royal tours, and I forget where the tour was. Got a funny feeling it might have been in Jordan, and they used to travel the Royal Yacht, and at the beginning of the tour they used to always invite the press to come and have a few bevies with them on the Royal Yacht in the ballroom. And this tour happened about 3 weeks after I did that picture, and I had to go on the Royal Yacht because you had no choice. And I got introduced to the Queen and the Duke, and the only thing I could do was look at my feet.
Yeah,
I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eye, and nor the Duke. And when that piece had been done, you all have to join a group, and she will come around and chat to the various groups of photographers. But I just made sure I just moved from group to group and never ever got involved. I was that frightened.
Yeah,
simple as that.
But it's a difficult balancing act, isn't it? Because I do the same. You end up writing stories or taking pictures of people or that they feel is negative, and then sometimes you've got to be at an occasion with them and do the good stuff as well. But it's a difficult balancing act for everyone.
Very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
You mentioned about the Duke of Edinburgh, obviously the late Duke of Edinburgh. One of the pictures I remember of yours in recent years was a picture of Prince Philip leaving hospital, and that was only a couple of days or a couple of weeks before he died.
It was about 3 or 4 days before he died. It was the last picture of him actually driving into Windsor Castle, where unfortunately he died. And again, I was very lucky. Our job is very much to do with being very lucky and also being in the right place at the right time. And you, to a certain extent, make your own luck. And I was lucky that day. And it was the last picture as he drove in the gates at the back gate, and they call it, at Windsor Castle, they call it Town Gate. It was a gate that he drove into, and that was the last time he was seen alive.
Yeah. I mean, again, he would have seen you around for many years, and he would have seen you take pictures. Yeah. Did you ever get to, have any run-ins with Prince Philip?
I've had a few run-ins with the Duke, yeah. One that I remember was probably the most famous one was many years ago when he was fishing on a lock. Sure enough, the Duke had got his boat out of the boathouse, got his rod out, pushed the boat out, was fishing away, trout fishing on the lock. Right out of the blue, we were tucked in some bushes. Right out of the blue, we heard somebody shouting, "Oi, oi, oi, you!" And obviously we thought it was a policeman. who seen us. So we sort of started looking around, but actually it was a policeman. It was a Scottish policeman who had seen the Duke fishing on the locks and wanted to know what he was doing there. He then asked him, "Is that your red shearer outside?" And the Duke looked at him and didn't answer, just carried on fishing. "Oi, you," he said, "you in the boat? Is that your red Sierra outside?" And sure enough, the Duke looked up at him. He said, "No, I'm driving the green Land Rover that's parked there," and can continue fishing. Obviously, the policeman done a PNC check on it very quickly, realised that he may be in trouble because it was the Duke's car, disappeared out, and that was the last we see of him. Apparently, he got sent to a new post somewhere.
You don't want to upset Prince Philip, do you?
No.
You know, he had a very strong tongue if he didn't agree with you or if he didn't like you. So, what kind of guy was he? Do you think? Well, the Duke was.
I always found him okay. You know, he didn't suffer fools gladly, a bit like his daughter, like Princess Anne. But I've never had any massive railings. I've been face to face, unlike the Queen. But no, I've always found him fine.
Yeah, they're kind of different to the current generation, aren't they? The late Queen and Prince Philip in many ways. Yeah,
they were more acceptable to photographers. They accepted photographers a hell of a lot more, and there wasn't this. I don't know what the right word is, but the problem that we probably would have now with the royals now. So,
I kind of missed them. I kind of miss Philip and the late Queen.
Well, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I remember me and you working together a couple of years ago, just before the late Queen died, and we had, you know, she was always out and about.
Absolutely,
we were out in the, driving around.
She still drove on the estate. She still drove a car, a Jaguar, on the estate. She stopped driving, obviously, on the roads when the Duke had the accident in Sandringham. So, but she still drove around the estate, and she went round and visited people that she wanted to visit. Just a one-off, and there will never be anybody else like her.
No, it's a big hole in, I think, in the royal family's life and kind of the nation's, but we're very close to the second-year anniversary, and I think in a couple of weeks' time, or next week on the show, we're probably going to be talking out a little bit further, but you have happy memories of the late Queen and the Duke.
Absolutely. Nothing other than just a lot. Well, as my dealings with her have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Apart from when you called you a horror.
Well, yeah. And then I wish I could have just buried myself somewhere.